Guys, welcome back to FABReviews. This is part 2 of the Pixel Watch 3 45mm. And like I said, I'm going to do the updates and everything. I'm going to make another review and everything. So just going to quickly go through, skim through all the features. Let's just give it a few more seconds and we're just going to crack on. So here we go. So that's our main home screen. So you can change this screen. This one I'm using is Adventure. So you can basically change the colors, the color themes of them through this. So I can change into different colors. I like the one that I wanted there. And then if you swipe right, then you can change digital arcs. So you can change the arcs of them. So whatever arcs you want. So if you want the dial, analog style and everything. So this kind of changes are there with pretty much most of them. Most of these faces actually have this kind of thing. So over here you can see individual changes. So I could change whatever I want. So if I want to change this, I could change this to something else, whatever I want. And these are populated on the basis of the apps that you have. For example, I've got a MyNet diary on my watch, on my phone, and that controls this. There are timers, there's calories. So as soon as you start downloading new apps, these will start upgrading as well. So anyways, I don't want to change much, so we'll leave it as is. Next thing is the drop-down menu is just our menu, which shows us all the main menus. My battery is running at 11%. I'm going to show you how long that battery has actually lasted as well soon. This is our ringer on the watch, not the phone. These are settings and do not disturb, cinema mode, which basically turns off the screen and only buttons can actually turn on the screen. Do not disturb. I don't really use this one because it has an auto do not disturb option. So when you go to sleep and this watch senses your motion being low, it automatically puts your watch to a sleep mode. We've got brightness control. We've got phone ringer. This one actually has an issue with the Huawei and the Honor phone. So that's something that we need to look into. Then we've got airplane mode, our Google Wallet, torch, which also has two different colors, which is slightly a different touch from my Samsung. So this one is red and then there. And then that turns it off. And then we've got no touch screen mode. So this basically means it will lock the screen. So this is something that you can use when you're going for swimming and everything. I'm not really a big fan to take this watch for swimming at the moment, so we'll see. And that's our connecting to sports equipment. For example, if you have something that can actually, such as a treadmill or something that connects to a watch, then you can learn about this one as well, and then you can connect to compatible machines. I think there should be a link up there and you should be able to do it. I think hopefully by next week when I get a treadmill, I'll test things through. So that's done. So this is our top menu, and this is our home menu, which kind of like shows us our main devices connected. So I've got my TV connected, I've got my Roborock connected, broadcasting a message to my Google Home devices, and then the mirror settings. I can do these minor settings. I can go in there, change colors and stuff, change the intensity. Those basic features are there, and all the devices that I have connected on my Google Connect Home. Next one we have is the tiles. So these are different tiles that I can add. When you add WhatsApp, so it gives you new tiles, which are instant voice messages. So you can just click on the person that you want to send a voice message. You can just send instantly the voice message. Step counter. This is all connected through Fitbit. Then you've got your sports workouts, sleep. Definitely need to get more sleep. And your calendar. I mean, you can change these. This is something nice, part of Pixel, part of Google thing, where you can add your own assistant actions. So if you go in there, and if I want to add an action, let's say, let me zoom in a bit. So let's say set alarm or send a message. For example, if I say turn off the lights, for example. So if I click on this, that's now added as a function. So it's like a Google action. So I don't have to do it. So I don't have to say, hey, Google or something, and then actually get this thing activated. Sorry if I activated your devices. And then you just click turn off the lights, and it will turn off the lights throughout my system, the ecosystem that's actually connected. Rest, there you go, your calendar stuff going on, your maps. This one works with GPS and everything on maps. I mean, I'm not really a big fan of using a map on this thing, unless I'm riding a bike, but it doesn't have the weather to ride bikes. There's more widgets that you can add. So if you click on the plus icon, so you could download more widgets. So body responses. This is to do with your stress thing. Last activity, how much workout have you done? Then you've got your readiness score. This is part of the watch. It basically shows overall how healthy you are and how basically how much rest have you had, showing that you are charged up for the day. It gives you a daily report for the whole thing. So we've got favorites and everything, and that's about it, to be honest. There's emergency options as well, which you can set up in the watch. and I'm going to show you these menus right now with all the other options. Apps. So the features that we have is, so if you scroll up the wheel right there, by the way, the watch doesn't really look like this. This one's actually got a case on, which I'm going to show you guys in a minute. So if we scroll up, this shows your notifications. So you can scroll through your notifications, your different notifications that are there. You can dismiss the notifications as soon as you don't want them. For example, you just swipe it, and it also reflects onto your phone. This is now currently working really well with my Honor Magic 5. So for example, if I have an email, let's say I have this email and I'd like to delete this email. So if I was to select this email and go down to, let's say, delete it or archive, it actually archives the thing. My phone just vibrated and it's actually removed the email as well. That's really good. Some of the other Samsung Galaxy Watch 5 wasn't able to do this one because they have their own, funny enough, I'm saying Galaxy and I've got an email related to that. It's because of the CES 2025, they're launching new things. Anyways, these are just our notification management. Oh, by the way, one more thing. So for example, if there's a notification that you get and you don't want it, you can change it by holding onto it, and then you can turn it off. So you're not going to get those notifications as well. That's one way of doing it. You can also swipe them, so that just clears them off for you. Next one is the apps. So if I press this button one more time, that actually takes you to our apps. So these are all the apps that I've actually got listed. So you can change these apps. That's our ECG. This one does have ECG, not like Samsung where you need to have their own proprietary Samsung phones to actually have the ECG working. The ECG works in this one flawlessly. Perfectly fine. We have more features. I mean, I've got loads of apps running and everything. Google Play Store is there, which allows us to update the apps, and WhatsApp is there. This is one more app that I'd recommend everyone to actually download. I'll make a special video for this one. It's like a quick video one that will show you. This thing allows you to access your phone camera without having those features. For example, I don't have a Pixel phone, so I can't use the camera feature. As you can see, the camera icon is gone because the watch already knows that I don't have a Pixel phone. So because of that reason, it's not going to show me. You can change the interface to a list view, which is the old school way of doing things. But I like doing more rather than less when you're doing this. And a few tips that I'll give to everyone is to change the following settings. Okay, it will really, really save you time. So you go into your settings. I'm now getting easily 2.5 to close to 3 days of battery life. So the things that I've done. Number one, connectivity. Bluetooth is live. It's all live, obviously. It works with it. So answering calls and all good. Wi-Fi is usually off. I always keep it off in case I don't need to do any updates. NFC is on. This is to do my payments on Google Pay. Display. So display, what I find, it's not really that sunny around here. So according to the watch faces that I keep, I mean, I like having more information on my watch rather than less. So everything is accessible. For example, my current watch face, everything is accessible. So if I touch on this, it takes me to my Fitbit. If I touch on the battery, it takes me to the battery saver option and everything. Now this is from 2 days. No, I would say this is nearly going up to 3 days. So I charged my watch right now. As you can see, it's 11:40 in the morning in England. So I would say I charged my watch. This was 2.5 days ago, around about 2 p.m. in the afternoon. 2.5 days ago. So I would say it's given me 1, 2. So it's coming out. If it's 2 o'clock today, is given me practically 3 days of battery life, so it's pretty solid. But that's all based on the settings I've actually got. Yours might not be the same, and there are certain active apps that I don't bother using. Now, display. These are settings that I've got. So my brightness is set at this level, and adaptive is on. So if I make it dimmer, the brightness goes down. They still like going through anything. I can show that one another way. Text size, I prefer it slightly smaller. Again, smaller the text size, the more the data is actually there. So for example, if I'm reading through a quick email or something, I can look through that. I don't like it bold text because it makes it really wide and everything, so it cuts off all from the edges. Then we've got screen out time is 10 seconds. Go to watch face after 1 minute. Yeah, so if I don't do anything after a minute, it actually goes to the watch screen. Always on display, I've actually got it off. Even this one's got an LTPO screen, which means that it can actually go down to 1 hertz. But I still don't like it because it keeps, sometimes like imagine if my cuff is wet, if my hem of the thing is wet, it will rub against it and it will start scrolling things and start, you see when the voodoo starts happening and then the watch goes into a monster and it starts doing things by itself. Wrist orientation is a unique feature in this watch. So meaning if I want this side, the crown on this side, I can basically disconnect it from the sides, go into wrist orientation, and swap it to the other hand. That's one way of doing it. Swap it to the other hand and flip it. Because a lot of people find it that when you move your wrist like this, it kind of like presses the button like I just did. But not for me. I prefer it on the right hand side because I'm right-handed. So that way it makes my life easier. What else is it? We're going to sing gestures. I thought when I look through gestures, I'm going to get loads of gestures like flick and this and that, like my Galaxy Watch 5 had. But this one doesn't really have many gestures. So sorry, guys. This I don't understand why they haven't. It's got a brilliant feature. So it's got tilt to wake, which I like. So meaning when the watch is idle like that, and if I go like that, the watch wakes up. Touch to wake, I don't really need it if the tilt to wake is on, or rotate the crown is on. So you don't have to touch the screen rather than getting it messy. So you just rotate the crown a bit, and the screen wakes up, as you saw there. Touch lock is where you lock the screen. Screenshot is when you press the two buttons. So there's two buttons there, as you can see. There's another button there at the back. You see that one there? That is the other button. So if you press both these together, it takes a screenshot, like most watches. I don't understand why we need a screenshot. It's highly likely to share some other features and stuff. Anyways, that's done. Apps and notifications. That's the main battery drain issue with most of these watches. So you must go through what notifications you want from which watch or which app, sorry. So if you want it from a particular app, make sure you disable it. If you don't know which app it is, you can access all of these things on the Pixel Watch app on the phone in itself. Do not disturb, I think self-explanatory. You can set a schedule on it, customize it. But again, I've just turned this thing on, auto bedtime, and that basically auto bedtime actually works in one way. So it actually measures that you're sleeping. It automatically puts the phone in do not disturb, the watch on do not disturb mode. Default apps are the apps that I prefer actually using for certain activities. I have downloaded a browser app, but for some reason the browser app wasn't really working. So I specially downloaded this app, the internet app, because for some reason Wear OS doesn't allow me to browse stuff. So for example, if I've got links, so I've downloaded a Samsung browser app, and that works wonders, trust me. And it's actually brilliant. So for example, I'm going to show you how this works. If I go into the browser app, I think I just scrolled past it. There we go. So if I go in there, let me open the screen. There we go. That's the default page that I was checking. It's working perfectly fine. Because I used this app in the previous thing, and you can also change the what's it called? Change the links and everything. You can put your bookmarks and so on. Going back further onto apps and notifications, that's done. Default apps, unused apps, app information, app permission. App permission is also something you should actually always look at. App storage also comes in handy if there's some sort of new update, so you want to clear the cache. How do you access most recent apps is something a lot of people were actually asking. So for example, if I do it this way, press the other button, that takes me to the most recent app. As you can see, that's the morning brief that actually shows my readiness score. This is something that you're going to get every day. So when you wake up, so it's going to show me that my readiness score is 67. That's how alert I am today, and on how much cardio I did, how much walking I did, how many calories I burned. This is my sleep. Brilliant. Yeah. As always, I'm not someone who works out that much because I'm glued to my desk, and that's it. That's something that you will get every day. I mean, it's a good touch, to be honest. Now, if I press this twice, it will go back to the most recent app, the little button. That's a shortcut. 1, 2, boom. The most recent app that I was running. Double press this one, it opens Google Wallet. I don't have a card added yet. And if I hold on to this, if I'm going to close this app, so I'll hold on to it, clear from recent, hold on to it. So now this is like pressing the square icon, or when you scroll and hold on a phone, and then you want to basically close particular settings. So if you think that the RAM is being used on the watch quite a lot, so you can close some of the apps. I don't know. I mean, some of the proprietary apps are okay. But if you do an external app, it might just take more battery or consumption and so on. Now, since I've been doing this review, as you can see, I've dropped a percentage. So watch is fairly good when it comes to battery life and so on. Now, going back onto settings, what else I've actually got here? Sound, I usually keep it on low, so there's no ringer. I don't need the ringer volume. The alarm volume is there. and media volume is for any sounds like such as Spotify or so on. But I'm not a big fan of listening to Spotify on my watch or anything. Core volume is always high. That is something a bit feeble. I'm not a big fan of the core volume compared to Galaxy Watch. Charging sounds, just to make sure that it actually has, this thing has a 4-pin charger like this one, as you can see. So I would rather have the sound to make sure that it's actually plugged in properly. Charger takes about 20 minutes or so and actually gives you a decent amount of charge. Auto adjust audio and volume. I'm okay. And that's audio balance right or left. I think apparently it's got the 2-part speaker on this side, so it actually works in that way. Rest, what do we have? Sorry, it's getting out of focus. Vibrate. This is another one which also kills the battery for some. So now I have got this feature on: silence watch when not being worn. So as soon as you get disconnected, so the watch goes on silent mode. It comes in handy, so it's not sitting there vibrating. Vibration and haptics are there for certain notifications. Vibration watch is actually telling me at the current time as a vibration when it comes to the. Oh, basically, remember the old Casios when we had the Casio watches or so on, whenever they used to, when it's 12 o'clock, it used to go deet 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 deet, or some kind of old school watches that used to ring when it's the right time. This is that feature, trying to show you like, yeah, it's I mean the time's done, so which gives you the current time in decimal format. A long vibration means 10 and a short vibration means 1. So it's actually trying to tell you. This is probably part of the update. I haven't seen this one earlier on. Ring vibrate is on medium, also another one on medium. Alarm vibration is on high. I usually just set an alarm on my watch. That's another issue. The alarms on the Pixel Watch 3 do not sync with the Honor products. That's something you guys have to be aware of. If you want your alarms to sync, just buy a Pixel. Don't bother with things. Using the crown. So if I turn this thing on, it kind of like gives me excessive feedback. It's like every crown rotation is mimicked with a slight vibration, like tick, 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 tick. It goes like that. But that's not something I prefer. I like it neat and smooth. And again, touch feedback as well. When you're touching, imagine typing on your screen, they'll actually give touch feedback. I've got these off. I don't need these anymore. General health profile, location services, emergency. So this is something new, and this, in case you're in an emergency, say you're riding a bike and God forbid you had an accident or anything, or you fell down. There's this button called SOS emergency where you press, I think, is it quickly press the crown 5 times. So I'll press it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This sends an SOS alert. I don't know how it does it in theory, or it starts, making an alarm sound. Let's see. I don't think anyone will hear that, but you can tell. And you can also add an emergency contact in this watch. So, for example, if there's an emergency contact and if your watch is connected to your Bluetooth, because this is a Bluetooth only watch, unless it's a Wi-Fi watch, unless it's a LTE watch, then it will call the contact that you've actually got it. So if I press this thing, it makes a sound, sends an SOS alert, and also dials the emergency contact or sends them a message that the person that you know is in harm or in danger or whatnot. Then there's a car crash detection as well. I don't think I've set this one up. You got to turn these features on. I haven't, because my car already has an SOS button. Fall detection. This is for people who accidentally fall. I mean, especially for the elderlies. If for any reason you fall or anything happens, this will again automatically call for emergency. Loss of pulse. If your pulse actually drops down to below 50 or 40, then I think the clip just got disconnected. As soon as I connected the loss of pulse feature, it actually opened the Pixel app on my phone, so that disconnected the camera there. Anyways, accessibility has some features: talk back, magnification, text, color correction, reduce animations, auto adjust stuff, some more gestures. Well, back to the same gestures. I really want Google to invest into more gestures. There should be more gestures in the watch, such as flick to cancel the alarm. They used to have it on the first watches. I don't know if you guys own those watches. Google Watch was the best amongst the best ones that they made was with Huawei. I know now everything is all apart and everything. Clearly, any sort of dominance is actually squashed in this world these days. So this is the world we live in. Text to speech is when they speak louder. Security, device admin. This is something where you have to activate the device admin apps. So Find My Device is actually activated here. that actually shows that if I was to click on this, this device is accessible remotely. So if you go into Google, find my device, you log in with the same login. You can press the button online on the website or on your phone and actually find your watch for you as well, as long as within range or it's connected to internet. Lock screen now and brightness and everything, and that's done. So developer options, I like the developer options, which I always do because I like a faster screen thing. So this is set on 1x. If you really want even faster animations, you can put it down to 0.5x. That is something that comes in handy. How do you get to developers options? You go into systems and you go into about, and I believe it's this, or sorry, not the serial number, there, the build number, sorry. So you tap onto this a few times and it will switch to developer mode. It's saying that I'm already a developer, that's fine. And finally, just the software updates is something that comes in handy as well. So you check the system updates. If there's any updates, it just says it's running on the latest Android version. This is running on Android version 14, which is Wear OS 5 or something like that. And it's got the November update. So meaning the December update should be due now. I think Google is being lazy. Clearly should have actually sent across the update. Yeah, that's about it. So this is a quick wrap up of the watch and certain features. As for the case, this is a clip-on case. As you can see, it kind of like clips on. So here we go. And it's got a screen on it already. It's not a screen protector. So there's a screen here, as you can see. And there's no need for a screen protector underneath. The thing is, the watch is all glass, as you saw, and in my previous video. And I'm someone who keeps walking around or running around and everything. And the worst part is when you knock him on the edges. And I like to keep my watches new. I like to look after my stuff and everything. I did order some screen protectors, which actually everybody, if you want like a neat look without the case and everything, because you don't like the obstruction of the size or whatnot, then you can also buy some screen protectors. I'll put the links down in the description and also put the link for this case. It just clips on. It's a good offer. I think it was about £7 or £8. It just clips on, literally clips on. You don't have to do anything. You just put it on and it just clips on, and that's all you got to do. There's no screen protectors, so you don't have to worry about any bubbles and everything. And you can see it's like quite responsive, so there's no issues as such. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one. Make sure to follow and subscribe, and make sure you share the channel further. So, and any further questions, put it down in the link below. I'll see you in the next one, guys. Have a great one.